All right, it's Friday. Are you ready for some football? There will be plenty of it over this weekend on all levels. And of course, they're getting ready for big games under bright lights. And I'm just going to say right now that when we invited Mount Carmel on at the beginning of the season, the Caravans were ready for a fight to stay on top, and they've had to do just that as they now get ready for the Illinois High School Association playoffs. So, big question this weekend, who wants to make a little history? We have Phil Segroves, the Mount Carmel Athletic Director. Thanks so much for making time in what I hear has been a busy day for you.
Yeah, very busy day here in preparation. Probably spent the last 5 hours out in our stadium grooming it, getting ready for tomorrow, but we just want it to be perfect tomorrow when Mount Carmel and Loyola take the field.
Tell me about this rivalry.
Well, it's a rivalry that dates back for many, many decades, but I would say it's probably intensified a lot in probably the past 10 or 15 years. Mount Carmel and Loyola have been very good for a long time, but specifically what I was thinking of earlier today when John Holisek, the former head coach at Loyola, when he took over, I'm guessing that was about 10 or 15 years ago, things really did intensify. There were some great games in the 90s. I started coaching here in the lower levels in 1996, and I know there were many games way before I even became a part of Mount Carmel, but I'd say the past 10 years it's really intensified, and both schools have piled up, multiple state championships in the meantime.
Yeah, it is a game that so many people want to see, and I'm sure will come out too. Tell me about your team.
Yeah, we have good balance across the board with great senior leadership, quarterback, and with a lot of lineage here. Emmett Dowling, whose dad played here and his brothers have played here, and now it's his turn. We've got good balance on the offensive and defensive side. But we have a lot of young players too that are making strides, from a sophomore wide receiver in Marshawn Thornton, great junior players in Roman Ikwabikwe. But I think what really solidifies our team is our defense, and we've got great players, local Southside kids here in Gavin Conjar and Stephen Winkler, who are kind of the heart and soul of the defense. How
do you stay so dominant, really, for generations at this point in time?
Well, I think tradition has a lot to do with it. I've been a part of Mount Carmel for 34 years. I didn't attend Mount Carmel, but there's just something special here. If you look around in the hallways here, the legacies that walk up and down the hallway, you have some that go back, 4 generations. Some boys that are here, their great grandfathers went here. So I think tradition's a really big part of it. I took my son to a Halloween party yesterday. He's a kindergarten boy, and he had on a sweatshirt that said, "Someday I'll be a part of the caravan." So, it's a lot about tradition here. And, our kids are very proud, and they understand the fact that, they stand on the shoulders of the men who played here before them.
Mm-hmm, yeah. And I hear there are some other things that are connected to the game. So tell me about the atmosphere right now. What other things happen before a game like this?
Well, a lot of preparation that goes into it. I have an assistant here who really runs the office. Her name is Mary Mann, and she has done so much this week, to get everything prepared. If you think about it, everything on top from, the security that has to be run here, right? The Father's Club and Mother's Club is amazing here at Mount Carmel. And if you come tomorrow, you'll get a chance to see firsthand of just how intricate our Father's Club and Mother's Club is here at Mount Carmel, and sporting events, academic events, social events, open houses, but everything from getting the security ready to making sure that the hot dogs are ready, to having people in place to park the folks that are going to be coming from Loyola and, fans from Mount Carmel. So it's not just we show up and turn the lights on and, play football. It's a whole week of event and planning to make sure that the day is a safe one, a happy one, and an eventful one for everyone.
Yeah. What happened? Take me through the last time you all met up.
You mean with Loyola?
Yes.
Well, ma'am, actually, we played last week.
Right.
Which you may or may not know.
I hear it was a nail biter.
Last week in week 9. And like I said, this rivalry goes back for many decades, but it's been extremely intense the past 10 years. And you can throw the records out the window. I remember years back, we were sitting at 4 wins, and we had to beat a very good Loyola team to get into the playoffs. And we did just that. And I mean, it was really unexpected. So what I would say tomorrow is, Loyola is the defending 3-time 8A state champion. We're the defending 3-time 7A state champion. You can throw all the records out the window. It doesn't matter who's 10-0, who's 4-5, whatever the case may be. It's going to be a smash mouth Catholic League football game. It's going to be a good one.
Yeah, but how do you get the young men to face the same opponents in a different way in back-to-back weeks?
Well, I leave that up to the coaching staff. I do coach basketball here, but it is football season. I was proud to say I coach football here at Mount Carmel for 19 years. There really is, if it's our job, if we have to motivate the kids, then we're in big trouble. These young men here at Mount Carmel, and I'm sure as Loyola as well, they understand the importance of this. And you have to remember something. If you lose tomorrow, your season's over. Oof. And I think that's a big motivating factor in our young men.
It has to be. It has to be. It should be for all athletes if that's what's on the line. Yeah. Okay, right. So what happens from here if you win?
Well, it's a matchup, and we don't want to look ahead, but I think I could say that we will face either Belleville East or West Aurora. Depending on what team wins, we could have close to a 6-hour ride to downstate Illinois and play at Belleville East. Or if West Aurora wins, they will come to us. So it's just kind of how the IHSA has things laid out. It's one way or the other, but I think we really need to worry about Loyola Academy right now.
Absolutely. When you look across that field to the visitor side, and you've given them their kudos, but I'm sure you've done a little scouting. I mean, you're not the head coach, but what concerns you about that team from a matchup standpoint?
Well, I think they have really good athletes and tough kids. They do on all levels, but their coaches are working hard too. So as hard as our coaches are, their offices are right outside my office here, and they've been working, since Saturday morning. They came in early Saturday morning at 6 a.m. and started working for Loyola after the win on Friday night. The kids lifted and moved forward, but you have to understand, Loyola coaches are doing the same thing, and they don't just win 3 straight championships in a row without great coaches. I think we'd all say that we have great student athletes in our building, but there's a lot of coaching that goes on, so they're going to be preparing for us just as much as they are, or we are them, excuse me.
Oh, yeah, that's how great games are built, Okay, so give us just the details for the game. What do people need to know if they're watching you right now and they're thinking, oh, I might need to go check that out?
Thanks for asking. That's really important. So tomorrow, the game will kick off at 4:30. The gates will open up at 3:30 here, okay? I know people are anxious, but please, realize that you won't get in before 3:30 for security purposes. All tickets, they're cashless now, right? So you can go to GoFan and buy your ticket now, or you can buy one at the gate. Our ticket sales are going to be capped at 3,500 in our stadium, and we hope to see you tomorrow.
Okay, I think you're going to have 3,500 and maybe a few people out there like, I wanted to get in too. Thanks so much for your time.
Thank you. Have a great day.
Have a great weekend.